player on the team, so everyone was clowning him online like, bro, you're not Batman, you're not even Robin, you're probably like the Riddler or something off in the corner, man.
Bro, like,
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Gabe, aka Boardman K, and today I got an interesting video for you guys. I think y'all like it. I'm going to be recapping everything that happened last week in the NBA, and wow, we had an insane week of basketball. Let's just hop right into it. Last Monday might have been the best Monday in NBA history, if I'm being honest. Desmond Bane hit a game winner over the Portland Trail Blazers after struggling from three all game. He was 0 for 5 from 3 going into the last few minutes of the game. He ends up hitting a contested pull-up 3-point jump shot to ice the game over Portland. I mean, I was very impressed with that performance from the Blazers. Denny Avdia, it looks like he's making a significant jump this year. He had 27 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists to battle Paolo Banchero's 28 points and 9 rebounds. I mean, not to mention, Shaedon Sharpe is having a fantastic year as well. He had 31 points, 12 for 18 from the field. Magic win 115-112, but let's move swiftly forward. I got a lot of games to cover for you guys. I watch the game so y'all don't have to. So yeah, that's what this segment's all about. It's really just about keeping y'all updated and keeping it moving along. Okay, 138-140, Miami versus Cleveland. Miami, they had a really interesting game. They played very physical this year. I already mentioned in our podcast videos, Shoot For It podcast, if y'all don't know. If you like these type of videos, go back and check those out. Anyways, Miami Heat had a game-winning alley-oop dunk to beat the Cavs by 2 points. Donovan Mitchell, 28 points, 15 rebounds. 15 rebounds. Yeah, you heard that right. It's a career high for Donovan Mitchell. Also had 8 assists. Jaime Jaquez off the bench for the Heat, looking like he might be a 6-man of the year contender. 22 points, 7 rebounds, 13 assists. Are you kidding me? For Jaime Jaquez, guy off the bench too, a power forward as well. Okay, Norm Powell, number 1 scorer for the Heat with 33 points in this game. Khalil Ware stepped up without Bam Adebayo. I know Bam's out with like turf toe, big toe injuries. He's sprained up, and that takes a few weeks to heal. I mean, it's obviously hard to recover from something like a big toe being injured because you're constantly, needing to walk around. Anyways, Khalil Ware, 14 points, 20 rebounds. That's a career high for him as well. So 2 game winners from the state of Florida. I think that's the first time 2 teams have ever had that happen from the same state the same night. So that was crazy to see. Also, bro, Wembanyama has been going crazy. I mean, we were all expecting him to be one of the best players in the NBA eventually, but I didn't expect him to be in the MVP conversation this early in his career. He had 38, 5, and 12 in a win over Chicago. The Bulls are playing very well. Looks like Josh Giddey might be like an all-star type of candidate. He's like virtually getting a triple-double every night with 20-plus points. I mean, this dude is on a tear. James Harden, he has been playing fantastic basketball as well for the Clippers. Without Kawhi being in the rotation consistently, and the unction over there, the old guys over there, bro. 35, 10, and 11 with 6 made threes. They still could have beat the Hawks even without Trae Young. But Vit Krejci, the flamethrower in this game, hit 8 threes, 8 for 10 with a career high 28 points to battle James Harden. The Hawks had a little sniper off the bench there, man. Another interesting game from last Monday, Cooper Flag versus Giannis in their first matchup. Electrifying game from Giannis as expected, but Cooper Flag, he didn't back down from the challenge. Giannis had a nasty poster dunk on Flag, and then a few minutes later in the game, Flag came back and dunked on him too. That was nuts. So I think, they took it personal. Obviously, Giannis, he's trying to give Flag a welcome to the NBA moment, and I think he actually did that pretty effectively with that dunk. For most guys, that would rattle you. That would take you out of your element. Flag locked in. He said, "Nah, I'm not going to take that easy, bro." Came back, dunked on him. Bucks won by 2 over the Mavs, who are struggling. But that was it for NBA Monday last week, November 10th. Tuesday, November 11th. Jazz had an impressive win over again, impressive is subjective. The bottom of the barrel Pacers, man. They're like 1-10 as of right now. They're recording this on November 17th, the next Monday. So I'm going to be starting this segment where it's like Monday to Sunday. You know, what's the best games of the week? So let me know if y'all like these type of videos. Anyways, Svi Mikhailiuk with the Jazz had 20 points. Ace Bailey had 20 points. Larry Markkinen has been hooping recently, especially in the scoring department. He had 35 on the Pacers. Pascal Siakam and Andrew Nembhard have been playing well on the offensive side of the ball for Pacers, but Pascal with 27, Nembhard with 25, 7 dimes for Nembhard as well. Obviously not enough to beat a Jazz team, or not really even expected to make the playoffs. What are the Pacers going to do? I mean, the big man rotation with Isaiah Jackson and Tony Bradley is really not going to get the job done. They are seeing some major flaws in their game after the Tyrese Halliburton Achilles tear, which is, a huge shot to their playmaking. Obviously, he's one of the best in the game at that. Carried them to the finals. So, without Tyrese Halliburton for the remainder of this season, and losing Miles Turner in the offseason because they weren't able to reach a contract extension, the Pacers have some major problems, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I know they have Jay Huff as well as the 2 other guys I mentioned, Isaiah Jackson and Tony Bradley, but they can't really guard the perimeter. They can't guard the paint. They don't have a distinguished number 1 option to play the center position. And it really shows against teams like the Jazz, who they aren't even that formidable, but they have scorers on the team that can get the job done when there's not a clear defensive scheme. Another guy who's been injured, Benedict Mathurin. Another guy with an injured big toe, similar to Bam Adebayo with the turf toe is what they call it, where the big toe is sprained. He had missed 11 games straight. Will Benedict Mathurin make an impact for the Pacers when he comes back? Sure. I mean, like, he's the type of guy who's going to average, 16, 18, 20 points a night, but he's not a great defender, and he's not a great playmaker, which is exactly what the Pacers need. We'll see what happens when Mathurin comes back, but I don't have high expectations for the Pacers at all. It is pretty tough to see what they've become after making the finals last year. Anyways, that was it for Tuesday. Last Wednesday, Warriors versus Spurs, 125-120. Heroic 46-point performance from Steph to lead the Dubs to the victory. 28 points for Jimmy Butler and an impressive 19 points for Moses Moody, who had 4 threes in the first quarter. If you start the game hot, you got to finish the game hot, and he did a pretty good job of staying consistent. Number 1 defense from the Spurs, and the Warriors still lit them up from the outside. Obviously, how are you going to guard those motion actions for the Warriors when they run Steph Curry around and set 2, 3, 4 screens for him just to find an open shot and move the ball so well? The young Spurs defense definitely got taught a lesson that night. Even though it was only a 5-point victory for Golden State, that was not a game that they took lightly. I'll say that. Also for the Spurs, Wemby had a triple-double, 35, 10, and 15. But guess what? Stephon Castle also had a triple-double with 23, 10, and 10. So with De'Aaron Fox coming back, looking pretty healthy, what will the point guard rotation look like for the Spurs? I mean, they got Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, now De'Aaron Fox. How are they going to balance that, ball handling responsibility? Will Dylan Harper be coming off the bench or continue to stay off the bench as a 6'6" guard that can do everything on the court? Do the Spurs need to hold on to De'Aaron Fox? We'll see. I think they're definitely a playoff team as of right now. With De'Aaron Fox, who's, historically the past handful of seasons been one of the best clutch time scorers in the whole league. I would say the sacrifice that they made to trade for him, is it worth it? I don't know. I would like to see De'Aaron Fox on a deep competitive team alongside Wemby. Just imagine the pick and rolls we're going to see out of those 2 guys. But anyways, we're going to talk about that more later. Spurs are playing very well. They unfortunately lost to the Warriors by 5. Nuggets versus Clips last Wednesday, 130-116. This was the game Nikola Jokic dropped 55 points in 3 quarters. Are you kidding me? Only 33 minutes. 5 for 6 from 3, 18 for 23 from the field. Are you kidding me? It's laughable what this guy does on a nightly basis. I think he only had 6 assists this game. He's typically known to be a facilitator, the triple-double king. He said, nah, I'm going to put my head down and I'm going to prove to you that Brook Lopez, Ivica Zubac, these guys are 7-foot monsters, immovable objects, you could say. Those guys got nothing on Jokic. They proved it. So, the Clippers, right? We mentioned Harden earlier. Harden's been playing like an MVP, definitely an all-star. with the absence of Kawhi, he's been picking up the slack and then some. The Clippers are only at 4-9. As of right now, this next Monday, November 17th, Clippers are 4-9. The unction over there, they need some help. What could that help possibly be? Will James Harden request a trade? I mean, I know he likes being back home in LA. He likes, being close to his family in Inglewood. Does he want to keep putting up with this losing mentality when he has to carry the team so much? I'd love to see him back on the Rockets. Rockets need a playmaker, but, we're going to get to that in another video. Anyways, Blazers versus Pelicans, 125 to 117 Portland win. Obviously, we don't expect a ton out of the Pelicans. DeJounte Murray's been in and out of the lineup with injury. Zion, same thing. They traded away Brandon Ingram, traded away CJ McCollum. But they still have some exciting young players on that squad. Anyways, Blazers side. Denny Avdia, a guy who I think might be in the conversation for most improved player. 32 points in 35 minutes. Shaedon Sharpe, another guy taking a tremendous leap this year. 35 points in 30 minutes. Drew Holiday, 17 points, 12 assists. I believe Drew Holiday is averaging the most assists he's ever had in his long NBA career. I believe above 8 assists, right? A guy like that who can lock down on the defensive side of the ball, one of the premier defenders in all of the NBA, getting above 8 assists a game and shooting the ball from 3 effectively. I mean, oh my God. Drew Holiday is the type of guy teams would want to trade for, that's for sure. For the Pelicans way, though, Saddiq Bey, 25, 5, and 6. He's a really brolic, small forward type of guy with a smooth touch. He had a real nice Euro step, slow down, slow motion, one-legged layup. That was really impressive. 22 for Trey Murphy. We know how athletic he is at 6'10". He's able to slash to the rim, dunk on anybody. Smooth shooting mechanics on him too. The guy I'm really excited to see, and I'm not the only one saying this, Derek Queen, 26, 4, and 7 against the Blazers, and did it in various ways. I'll say it like this: he can score in the paint. He's got a nice little mid-range. He's got a little handle to him. 7 assists for a rookie power forward with limited minutes. Are you kidding me? I mean, Derek Queen's got a crazy game. Kind of looks like a second coming of Zach Randolph, but more off the dribble type of moves. Zach Randolph is more of a bump, physical, spin, shot off the glass type of guy. Derek Queen takes the ball off the dribble a little bit more. But that's the closest thing I could compare Derek Queen to. And that's a huge compliment coming from me, man. I mean, Zebo, one of my favorite hoopers of all time. I played power forward back in the day. I love these crafty power forwards that can score in a variety of ways. So I'm impressed with the development of both these teams, not going to lie. I mean, obviously the Pelicans are not really translating to wins quite yet, but the other hand, Blazers are winning some games. Will that continue as the season stretches on? I don't expect the Blazers to really make a playoff splash. Definitely around that 9 to 11 spot where they're going to be in the play-in tournament, and they're going to be a team you can't sleep on, that's for sure. What can the Pelicans do right now? I mean, obviously, I mentioned DeJounte Murray is going to be out for a while now. Herb Jones, Drew Holiday on the Blazers. All these guys are, Zion even. All these guys are desirable assets. I could predict one of those teams or both of those teams being involved in trade rumors down, around the All-Star break and trade deadline. So keep an eye on those two teams. But that was it for last Wednesday. Last Thursday, Raptors versus Cavs. The Raptors are having a sneaky good year. Let me pull it up right here. I think they're like 8-5. They're 7-5 right now. Again, early on in the season, will they stay above 500? Who knows? They don't have a ton of depth, but they got Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, and Jakob Poeltl. All of those guys are players that any team would want. Collectively, as a 5-man group, they're great, but they don't have a ton of depth off the bench. That's my main concern for Toronto. Anyways, in this win over the Cavs, they're Barnes 28, 8, and 10. Emmanuel Quickley with 25 points. Jakob Poeltl 20.7 boards. Cavs had a little bit of an off night, but Donovan Mitchell, he's never off. He had 31, 6, and 6 in the game. I think not having Darius Garland on the court for the Cavs is it's obvious, right? They missed that secondary playmaker, that guy who really runs a pick and roll. Donovan Mitchell is more of a score-first guard. Even though he's only 6'1", he's for sure a shooting guard in my eyes. He's never really been the type of guy that leads the team in terms of playmaking. So get well soon, Darius Garland. You know, we've seen the Cavs have had fantastic regular seasons in the past. I would like to see them make a serious, deep playoff run. I mean, last year they got eliminated in the first round. So I feel bad for Donovan Mitchell. I mean, he's the type of guy who can drop 70 on a night like he's done before. But he needs, more consistency from his team. I mean, they traded for DeAndre Hunter. Jared Allen is fantastic. Evan Mobley was Defensive Player of the Year last year. They have a great young core. And the timeline is perfect for them. They need to capitalize on that in the Eastern Conference. I mean, it's plain and simple. The East is pretty weak right now. They have to make a push right now. It's the Bucks and the Knicks, really the only two teams I would be worried about right now. The 76ers are playing well, but will that continue down the stretch? I keep saying that, but, it's early in the season. So, continuing on, Thursday, Pacers 98, Suns 133. Are you kidding me? Suns absolutely scorched the Pacers. I mean, I'm not trying to shit on the Pacers, I'm telling you. I mean, I promise I'm not. I loved the Pacers last year. Dylan Brooks had 32 points, 12 for 18 from the field. Are you kidding me? Dylan Brooks. I mean, I'm a Rockets fan, and I loved him last year, but it was rare he was getting 30-plus points. Devin Booker, 33 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 12 for 22 from the field. Absolutely having his way with the Pacers. Another decent showing by Nembhard and Siakam again. I think both of them had over 20 points, but come on. You need to get him some help, dude. But, there's not really much you can do right now. I mean, you can make a trade, but how big of a trade are you willing to make when you have Tyrese Haliburton coming back? Is that going to be an immediate fix when he does come back healthy next year after tearing an Achilles? And that's the worst injury in basketball. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I would love to see Tyrese Haliburton make a deep playoff run. I don't know if he'll ever get back to the finals. I have serious doubts that'll ever happen after that Cinderella season that they had last year. But anyways, get well soon, Pacers fans, too. I'm not even just Tyrese Haliburton. Pacers fans, I know y'all have got to be struggling right now. Anyways, Friday. NBA Cup Friday, guys. I don't know about y'all, but these NBA Cup games have been nuts. Like, they've been insanely competitive all the way around. Excuse me. So, Rockets absolutely stomped the Blazers 140 to 116 on Friday. All 5 of the starters double-digit points. Okogie had 11 points. That was the lowest scorer for the starters. Amen had 19. Jabari had 22. Durant had 30. Şengün had 25, 10, and 9. Just 1 assist away from a triple-double. Rockets, after losing our first 2 games, the first game being a double overtime slugfest against the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder. We lost by 1 to the Thunder in double overtime, right? First game of the year. Then the second game of the year, we lost by 4 to the Pistons, who are off to an amazing start. I guess I didn't mention them earlier in the Eastern Conference as being the biggest threats. They're in that conversation, but as of right now, I would take the Knicks or the Bucks over them in a 7-game series. Anyways, Rockets lose the first 2 games. Then we win 9 out of 10 of our last handful of games, right? Only loss being to the San Antonio Spurs. Spurs, they forced a lot of turnovers. They made it very clear that the Rockets have a big playmaking issue without Fred VanVleet on the court. Sure, Reed Shepherd has improved this year. He's playing great on the defensive side of the ball. He's shooting the ball a lot more confidently. But is he really going to be a primary playmaker as of right now, only year 2? I don't have a lot of faith in that. So, Rockets, what are we going to do about this playmaking issue? It's apparent against big teams that can switch, like the Spurs. But we've, gotten away with it against most of the other teams in the league. Anyways, the versatility, the depth, the switchability, the rebounding of the Rockets has been fantastic, except when we have to guard Wembanyama, who can totally dismantle our offensive schemes with the wingspan, man. I mean, we'll have to see what the Rockets are going to do, what they're going to do down the stretch. Again, man, I mean, it's early in the year. We're number 1 in scoring right now, number 1 in three-point percentage, number 1 in field goal percentage, number 1 offensive rebounding, number 1 in point differential, I believe. It's between us and the Thunder right now. The Thunder are blowing teams out of the water. That's why I haven't mentioned them yet. All their games have been absolute slaughter fests. Anyways, guys, Rockets are not a team to sleep on. Absolutely destroyed the Blazers last Thursday. Actually, last Friday, NBA Cup Friday. My bad, guys. So, okay. Heat versus Knicks, 132 to 140. Electrifying game. 39 and 11 for Towns with 6 made threes. The real star of the show, in my opinion, though, was Landry Shamet. I would never have put my money down as Landry Shamet getting 36 points and matching Towns' 6 threes with 6 himself. Josh Hart had a triple-double. Not a crazy triple-double, 12, 12, and 10, but very effective. We all know what Josh Hart can do when he puts his head down. One of the premier hustle guys in the NBA, if not the best hustle guy. Norman Powell on the Heat, though. He's really having a scorcher this year. He had 38 points and 8 threes against the Knicks, who have versatile wing defenders like OG Anunoby and Josh Hart, who I just mentioned. Again, Jaime Jaquez continues to show out, 23, 9, and 7. Is Jaime Jaquez the front runner for a sixth man? I think he is. I mean, it's hard to argue against it. But moving forward, Hornets take the Bucks to overtime on the NBA Cup game, 134 to 147. Bucks win. 32 points for both Con Kneppel and Miles Bridges, right? Only 16 points and 10 assists for LaMelo Ball, who's coming back from an injury. He really got rattled by Giannis in this game. All 5 starters for the Bucks again in double-digit scoring, 29 points, 10 rebounds for Kyle Kuzma, 25, 7, and 18 assists for Giannis. Ryan Hollins, breakout guard for the Bucks, has been playing really well, 20 points for him. Miles Turner with 18, the new signing, is proven to be efficient. He likes to stretch the floor, hit the corner 3 with Giannis. I mean, what better co-mate would you like? What other comrade would you want? And Giannis crashing towards the rim, dunking, drawing a double, triple team. Miles Turner wide open in the corner for 3. AJ Green wide open in the corner for 3. He had 13 as well. I think the addition of Cole Anthony is getting kind of slept on for the Bucks too, because although Giannis, he can facilitate, he can play and make, typically out of a double team or on the fast break, right? Cole Anthony's type of guy, when Giannis goes to sit on the bench, he's a reliable point guard that doesn't make a lot of make a lot of mistakes, doesn't turn the ball over a ton, doesn't overextend himself. Cole Anthony, the guy you gotta keep an eye on for the Bucks. Significant playmaker off the bench for them. Again, NBA Friday with the NBA Cup. Mavs versus Clippers, 133-127. Clippers come out with the victory by 6, right? Incredibly competitive game. I feel like this game went under the radar, man. It went to double overtime. Are you kidding me? Harden and Zubac had an absolute feast in the pick and roll, even with Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington on the court. I know Derek Lively didn't play very much this game, if at all. 41 points, 14 rebounds, 11 assists for Harden. Again, he's looking like prime Harden. Maybe it's not quite the same as, like 2018 Harden, where he's, dribble, step back, waste 20 seconds of the shot clock. He's doing it a little bit more effectively. He's involving the team more. But at this point, man, I mean, the team is not living up to Harden's expectations. I mean, he can't just continue to do this at his age, man. It's not resulting in wins, and I feel bad for the Clippers. I mean, this was a game against the Mavs where they did win, but the Mavs are a total shitfest right now. So Zubac, again, in the pick and roll, 27 and 11. He's the only guy playing consistently with Harden on the Clippers. Najee Marshall for the Mavs had 28 points, which I was really surprised to see. D'Angelo Russell, 28 points, but had a handful of turnovers that, one of them actually was one of the more critical moments of the game. If they did make that turnover, who knows, maybe they would have gotten closer to winning this game. But anyways, Clippers beat the Mavs 133-127. Warriors take down the Spurs again, a 109-108 1-point victory. Steph with his vintage heroics, 49 points. And against the best defense in the NBA, like I mentioned earlier, 9 made threes for Steph. Absolute flamethrower game. De'Aaron Fox was only his 3rd game back since being injured last season. He had, 24 and 10. Didn't look like he missed much of a beat at all. Wembanyama, 26 points, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks. And some of those blocks being extremely important towards the end of the game. I was really interested to see how Draymond would guard Wemby one-on-one in this game. They had a few moments where they're jawing back and forth, throwing some elbows, getting a little physical, had exchanged some words. But yeah, the Warriors ended up winning this game. It was a fantastic game. If y'all haven't seen this one, go back and watch the highlights. Wemby only had 26 points against Draymond Green. What does that say about Wemby? Is he still getting rattled by these vets who get up in them, be physical? We'll have to see. He's had some amazing games already, but NBA Friday with NBA Cup, those are the games I had for y'all. Now moving on to Saturday. Denver beat Minnesota 123-112. All 5 starters again double-digit scoring for the Nugs. 4 out of 5 of those had more than 20. Jokic 27 point, 12 rebound, 11 assist game. Triple-double king, you know what he's going to do. Tim Hardaway Jr., I think, has been very important for the Nuggets this year. After the Michael Porter Jr. trade to Brooklyn, they acquired Cam Johnson, who's been playing great. I feel like just as good, if not slightly more efficient than Michael Porter Jr. Adding Tim Hardaway Jr. as another sniper. That's been great. Reacquiring Bruce Brown. I really like this Denver squad. Obviously, Aaron Gordon and Jokic is a match made in heaven. Gordon is great at everything that Jokic is not good at. Like the physical sky-high rebounds, the dunking, the finishing through contact, the alley-oops, the sprinting down the court, beating the defense. Aaron Gordon is great at all those things, and Jokic is the perfect guy to find him with the passing. So, really excited to see how the Denver Nuggets continue to evolve and get even better chemistry. They're already, I think number 2 in the West as of this recording, and their chemistry isn't even at 100% yet. Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle both had 26 points in this game against the Nuggets, but they really were not able to outpace the shooting and the driving of this Denver Nuggets squad with the elite playmaking that they have behind the Jokic hub. NBA Saturday, Lakers beat the Bucks by 24. Bucks have had a lot of inconsistency this year. I think the primary factor in that is Kyle Kuzma. They made a significant move to acquire Kyle Kuzma in the trade with Chris Middleton. Kyle Kuzma is really just up and down, hot and cold. And when he's cold, they lose games like this by 15, 20 points. And, Giannis is going to get his 30 and 15 pretty much on a nightly basis. But he needs some more consistency around him. Miles Turner, maybe he'll step it up as the year goes on, but there's only so much space down low for them to both get 20 to 30 points. Sure, like I mentioned earlier, Miles Turner's great from the corner, but they need some more consistency all around. Maybe Anthony Black can help, facilitate that pick and roll with Miles Turner, or pick and fade with Miles Turner when Giannis is off the court. Luka had 41 and 9 on the Bucks. Ayton had 20 points, 10 boards on the Bucks. Reeves had 25 and 8 assists. Giannis 32, 10 and 5, but no one else really had anything more than 16 points or so. So Lakers, they're playing well even without LeBron. LeBron has yet to play an NBA game this season, and they're winning games. I mean, they're another team that's a little bit inconsistent. Luka's he's the guy that is going to get you 48 and 8 almost every game. Austin Reeves been playing solid. DeAndre Ayton finding his role with the squad. I'm impressed with the Lakers, but with LeBron, how will their rotations look? Will Austin Reeves continue to put up points like this? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, obviously we know LeBron is a great passer, but he gets 20 plus points on his own every night. The ball can only be shot so many times by so many guys. Anyways, moving on to Sunday, yesterday that is, Celtics beat the Clippers by 3. Another MVP-like performance from Harden. 37, 7, and 8 assists for the Beard. Jaylen Brown, 33 points and 13 rebounds. He's not really known to be a board crasher, but he did well on the glass on yesterday's game. Peyton Pritchard, 30 bomb, 8 for 13 from 3. Peyton Pritchard, when he's hot, is a type of guy you can't stay in front of with the handle, but with the jump shot, hitting that too, you have no chance. You're going to get fried all night. Derek White, 22 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, 4 for 8 from the 3. I know Derek White, going into this game was only shooting 27% from 3, and he has been at the top of the 3-point percentage list of the past 2-3 years now. When Derek White finds his stride, that will be huge for them, but with the Tatum injury and the lack of depth for them as well at the center position, they're like a slightly more versatile Pacers. I mean, that's maybe maybe that's insulting to say, but the Celtics have some obvious flaws. Jaylen Brown, in terms of finding his own shot and getting to his spot, that's something he kind of, falters in when he's being guarded by an elite defender. I would like to see the Celtics make some significant roster changes. At the big man, they lost Al Horford to the Warriors in the offseason. Somebody who I've been really impressed with on the Celtics, though, is Jordan Walsh. He's having a fantastic defensive season. He's clamping on everybody. He's guarding the best scorer on the other side pretty much every possession that he's in the game. I think he should be more of a consistent starter for the Celtics, maybe even as like a smaller power forward. I think, switchability, the physicality he plays with, the way he gets into your chest, I really like what I'm seeing out of Jordan Walsh. And then on Sunday, I think the highlight of the week, in my opinion, maybe all three of these games are the games of the week. 3 games went to overtime. Bulls versus Jazz, double overtime, absolute nail biter. This game, I was like on the edge of my seat. I could barely sit down sometimes because I was like pacing around the room like, holy shit, this game is nuts. Giddey continuing his all-star team bid. For sure, if he continues this pace, doesn't get injured, he's going to make it to the all-star game in the East. He had 26 points, 13 rebounds, 13 assists. Kobe White had his season debut after recovering from a calf sprain that he suffered in the offseason in some practice facilities. He actually had a fantastic game. 27 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, only 30 minutes. I think they were hoping to play him a little bit less minutes, work him back into the rotation, get his conditioning right, make sure he wasn't going to re-aggravate that calf strain, but he had a tough scoop layup to send the game to double overtime. Kobe White, that is. Lauri Markkanen on the other end, 47 points. Unstoppable scoring machine in that game. Doing it in a variety of ways. Getting to the free throw line, shooting it effectively from there. Scoring in the paint, hitting jump shots. Lauri Markkanen, super slept on player. He's not the best defender in the league. He's not the best rebounder in the league, but he can score with the best of them. Don't get it twisted. Anyways, the game ended with a fantastic Keontae George pull-up double contested 3 over Patrick Williams and Ayo Dosunmu. I mean, wow, Keontae George is evolving right in front of our eyes. He's still super young in this league. He's got a guy like Lauri Markkanen next to him. He's got a guy like, what's his face? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, it's just absolutely insane. I mean, Keontae George is evolving right in front of our eyes, man. He's got a guy like Lauri Markkanen right beside him. He's got a guy like Ace Bailey right beside him to learn and evolve. And imagine the one-on-ones Ace Bailey and Keontae George are going at in practice. Neither of them are like elite defenders, but both of those guys are some of the most creative offensive players in the game. I mean, maybe that's a stretch, but at that age group, there's almost nobody more creative than those two guys. So I really like to see how they continue. They have veterans like Kevin Love and Yusuf Nurkic to screen for him, get the rebounds. Lauri Markkanen doesn't have to worry about banging too much down low with Nurkic next to him. He just score the ball. So Jazz have had some impressive performances in this season so far, primarily on the offensive side of the ball, though. Let's keep that clear. Anyways, another overtime game. Mavs versus Blazers, 138-133 final score. Mavs win by 5. All 5 starters for the Mavs had double-digit scoring again. 21 points for Washington, 21 for Flagg, 20 for Gafford. Brandon Williams had 15. Max Christie had 14. 19 off the bench for Klay Thompson as well. Denny Avdia and Sharp, another monster performance from both of those guys. 36 points for Sharp, 29 for Denny Avdia. There was an interesting moment towards the end of the game. But right before it went to overtime, Avdia, he's calling ISO, clear out. He had a little sidestep 3, tries to make it, absolutely airballs it. So that's a learning moment for him. Take the right shot, don't take the most difficult shot when you don't have to. Game was tied at 118, went to overtime. Very, very physical overtime period. Both teams made tough shots through contact and ones. I know Jeremy Grant had an and one layup, but then he missed the free throw. After he converted the layup and missed the free throw, Then Avdia had an and 1 3-pointer, and he missed the free throw. Brandon Williams had a fantastic scoop layup through traffic. It was not fouled, but he went crashing to the ground, went behind the basket. He slid a couple feet, and he, disappeared among the standing fans. Brandon Williams iced the game with a little scoop layup, man. Fantastic off the glass finish for Brandon Williams. Great comeback win for the Mavs. The last game I wanted to talk about, guys. I mean, oh my God. My Houston Rockets had an extremely clutch win against the Orlando Magic last night. Rockets versus Magic, 113-170, and Houston wins by 4. All 5 starters for Orlando, double-digit scoring. Franz Wagner, 29 points. Desmond Bane, 26 points. Anthony Black, 18. Wendell Carter, 15. Tristan da Silva, sneaky 13 points. He was hard to guard in that game. I'm thinking we got to come up with a new nickname for Alperen Şengün and Kevin Durant. I heard someone say Slim Thick. I think that might be perfect, man. You see that. It's like you see that thick chick walking in. She looks kind of skinny from the front. She turns around and it's like something back there. You're like, whoa! Didn't see that. You got to double take that thing, right? That's exactly what the Durant and Şengün situation is like when they're on the court together. You're looking at Durant dribbling the ball up the court, looking like the Slim Reaper himself. The what's it called? The Slender Man, right? He's dribbling the ball up like Slender Man. You can't even get up to contest some of those shots he shoots. He's so tall. That's a slim part. And then when you start a double team, you can't really double team this Rocket squad because then you pass it down to Şengün. That's the thick part of it. He gets that girthy body. Okay, I gotta chill out. But Şengün posts up and he hits tough and 1 hook shots off the glass, fadeaways. He's really improved his jump shot this year. Slim Thick, I'm riding with that as the new Durant and Alpi nickname. Anyways, 35, 5, and 6 for Durant. He had a really nice pull-up, contested mid-range shot right at the free throw line. I believe it was over Wendell Carter, I believe, and that put the Rockets up like 3 or 4 points. Put the Rockets up 3 points. Şengün had 30 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, plus a clutch time block on Desmond Bane. The ball rolled off of Bane right before overtime started, and the Rockets were trying to inbounds the ball. The game was tied up, I believe, at 108 points. No, the game was tied up at 102 points. And then the game was tied at 100 points. The Rockets tried to inbounds the ball to Durant. Durant slips. And Anthony Black gets the ball, sprints down the court, dunks the ball. Şengün was trailing, trying to get a chase down block, and ends up fouling Anthony Black. Anthony Black makes the free throw. That put the Magic up 102-100 with Houston. With like 1.4 seconds left on the clock, the Rockets timeout. Advance the ball up the court, pass the ball with the ATO drawn up for Şengün right under the basket. Şengün was guarded by Jonathan Isaac, one of the premier defenders in the NBA. Extremely hard to score on that guy. Şengün gets the ball, turns and seals off. Isaac with just 1 second on the clock, hooks it, bottom of the basket, ties the game up at 102. Game goes to overtime. The Rockets controlled the glass. They hit tough shots. They got stops. They didn't foul. That was an important part. Both teams were in the bonus early in this overtime period. Durant, like I mentioned earlier, he dribbles the ball up the court, right at the elbow, right at the free throw line, contested mid-range, puts the Rockets up 3 points, and the Rockets end up winning the game. An interesting point to mention here, Rockets were only up 3 separate times before the end of regulation. Early in the game at 2-0, right? That's when they got their first lead. Then they got the lead at 4-3, just a couple possessions later. Then they were down the entire game up until the Rockets went up 96-95. Like at the end, it was in the fourth quarter. And then Rockets ended up, playing that physical style, getting their second chance opportunities. I know Steven Adams had a beautiful putback layup after the team got like 3 or 4 offensive rebounds in 1 possession. And that clutch time shot from Durant really sealed the deal. I'm impressed with how Durant has been playing with the Rockets extremely efficient basketball. He's getting like, 20, it's averaging 26.5 points for the Rockets as of right now, and he's not even taking more than 20 shots a game. So the Rockets don't need him to take that many shots either. So if the Rockets can continue playing this physical brand of basketball, getting the ball to the right guy at the right time in the game, I have strong faith that the Rockets can beat pretty much any team in the NBA. We do need to address the playmaking situation, whether that be playing Reed Shepherd as a starter. We haven't seen him as a starter yet this year. Whether it means bringing in Aaron Holiday and playing him some more minutes. There are some options to try and remedy this playmaking issue. Amen Thompson not being a major shooting threat. Teams don't have to pressure him as he's crossing up the half-court line. I would like to see some more playmaking out of him. As of right now, Şengün is leading the team in assists. Is that a recipe for success in a 7-game series in the playoffs? That is my major concern. Anyways, guys, enough with the Rockets. I can keep talking about them all night long, but let me know what you guys think. Who had the, what was the game of the week? Was it the Rockets overtime win over the Magic? Was it the Dallas double overtime win over the Blazers? Was it the Jazz double overtime game against the Bulls? I mean, so many great games. Was it one of these blowout wins? Did your team do really well and just blow out some team and you're like, yeah, that was satisfying? I know I like those type of games. So y'all let me know who had the best game of the week. Let me know if you like these type of videos. As always, I'm your boy Boardman K, co-host of the Shoot Forward podcast. If y'all want to check out our longer form videos, go ahead and do that. But anyways, shooters shoot.